and the glitter shades are my favorite part of the palette. And so I wanted to see if I could find some glitters to see if there was a way that you could purchase a drugstore palette that had some similar shades. For the first test, I wanted to use a glitter primer. Tomorrow, I will be testing the glitters without any extra glitter primer. Hey! Hi guys! Welcome to Emery Lane, where my goal is to help you save money by testing similar beauty products to see which one is best for you. Oh, and remind you that you are enough. Okay, so a couple weeks ago I did a comparison of the Tati Beauty palette versus another drugstore palette, trying to find as many matches as possible to see if there was a way that you could purchase a drugstore palette that had some similar shades. If you couldn't afford the Tati Beauty palette, or if you didn't want to spend the money right now, or if you're like waiting till Christmas, or it's sold out for whatever reason. If you couldn't get your hands on the palette, I wanted to see if there was another option. And the palette that I tried out didn't have any glitter shades at all, and the glitter shades are my favorite part of the palette. And so I wanted to see if I could find some glitters that were similar. And so I searched and searched and searched, and I came across this palette on Amazon. It is the Pressed Glitter palette by Beauty Glaze. It is a palette with 15 glitter shades for $10. I could only find it on Amazon, but I mean Prime. Free shipping, right? And it has some really good reviews, and I thought it had some shades that were pretty similar to the Tati Beauty palette. So we'll see what happens if it even compares close to the glitter shades, because they are incredible. Holy freak. Okay, so I've already done my eyeshadow minus glitter. I used the Tati Beauty palette on my left eye and the Milani Pure Passion palette on the other. I wanted to make sure everything was drugstore on one eye. That way it was completely fair if you're interested in this palette because you can't afford the Tati one. And I'll just kind of breeze through what I did real quick so you have an idea of what is on my eyes. The Tati Beauty palette, I took the Matte Soothe and used it as a transition shade, and then the Secret Ritual in my crease, and then I kind the Matte Ritual on the outer corner and underneath my lash line, and then just the Matte Arrow underneath my brow bone and in my inner corner. And then I took the lightest brown mixed with the cream to use as a crease shade to try to get it as close as possible to the Matte Soothe, and then I just took second darkest brown to use in my crease and the darkest brown to use on my outer corner area and underneath my lash line, and then took that cream again underneath my brow bone and in my inner corner. I wanted to keep these pretty simple, that way we can really focus on the glitter. That being said, I'm going to be doing 2 tests. That way I can gauge more if this palette would be worth it to you if you're interested in glitters that are similar to the Tati one. One test is going to be with a glitter primer. Now I already used a normal primer underneath these shadows. I used the Wet n Wild Photo Focus primer. This is one of my favorites on both eyes. But for the first test, I wanted to use a glitter primer because one, the Tati Beauty glitters do have a little bit of fallout, and I was curious to see if this would help that out. And 2, I wanted to give these a leg up just to see if that would help. And then tomorrow, I will be testing the glitters without any extra glitter primer, just normal eyeshadow primer. So I'm trying to decide. There are a couple shades that are pretty similar in here to the Tati palette. This one right here is pretty similar to the Glitter Soothe. This one right here in the corner is pretty similar to the Glitter Ritual. The pink glitter in the middle is pretty similar to the Poet glitter, and was there one more? This one's kind of the same as Story, not really. It has a lot more orange in it. The Story glitter has more copper in it, but like it's similar enough that I'm like, hey, this isn't bad for $10. The silver in this palette is in the same family-ish as the Memory one. The Memory has a lot more blue in it. And then the Arrow glitter is like no other glitter I've ever seen. It has like 50,000 colors in it. Not really, but like it has so many different like colors in it that I don't think I could find an exact dupe for that. There is a like white silver glitter in here though. That being said, I think today we're going to go with Soothe, so the lighter gold, and then this one right here, and see what happens. Guys, I'm kind of nervous about this. So this is the NYX glitter primer. It is not just an eye primer, it's meant for all over the face. It has really good reviews and it's under $5 at Target, so I figured this would be a good leg up. That way if you really wanted to spend the money on the glitters, it would be a total of $15 versus the Tati palette, which is a lot more than that. Okay, so I'm just gonna take some and put it on my lid. where I want the glitter to sit. Oh my goodness, it's so sticky. I've never used a glitter primer before. So normally what I do with almost any glitter shade at all is I'll just take my ring finger and dip it straight into the pan and press it on. I feel like that's the best way to get the look that I go for. So we're taking Soothe and going in. Oh my goodness, I love this stuff so much. I really do. Like, I am obsessed. It just makes me happy. FYI, the primer really seems to be helping so far in application. Normally have some fallout a little bit by the time I'm done applying, and there's none, so that's awesome. So that's what that side looks like, and I love it so much. So we already knew that I love the Tati palette though. So let me wipe my hand off so I don't get any glitter mixed in to the Beauty Glaze side. No glitter is left. So again, I'm just taking this gold at the bottom row, dipping it in. It feels a little tiny bit more coarse than the Tati one. Not enough that I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is awful, but the feeling is a little bit different, which doesn't surprise me because I'm sure the Tati one is a little bit more finely milled. Hey! This is not a bad color match. It's a little bit more gold, but like, and I've already had to dip into the pan a second time within like a few seconds, but like not a bad match. And I, again, don't have any fallout, but I think that is the help of the glitter glue or the glitter primer. So this is what they look like on both sides. I think this is not a bad matchup at all. I'm really happy actually. Basically, I'm gonna go about my day and see what happens. I will do a check-in halfway through the day. Today's the day before Thanksgiving, so I'm gonna be running around like a crazy person trying to get everything done. If this is gonna have fallout, today's the day. I'm excited to see what happens. Okay, so this is my check-in. So as you can see, both sides look really, really good. I would say there's a tiny bit more transfer on the Beauty Glaze side, but only the tiniest bit. And keep in mind that I did put some glitter like right underneath here, and so there already was some there, and I think that's where the fallout came from, is because there was no like glitter primer right there. But besides that, everything looks like the same as it did hours and hours ago. So I will let you know what I look like by the end of the day, but so far so good. So it's been about 14.5 hours since I put my makeup on, and I think everything looks really good. I would say there's a tiny bit more fallout on the Beauty Glaze side than there is on the Tati side, but overall there's not a ton of fallout in general, and fallout that's like right underneath the eye. For most of the time, it kind of looks like you did it on purpose, depending on how it fallout goes. So it's fine. I love glitter. So there was definitely fallout on both sides, so it's not like a drastic difference. I'm curious to see what happens tomorrow when I don't use the glitter primer. If I'll be a complete mess, I'll just be more sparkly. There could be worse things in life. Okay, so it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. And I did essentially the same eye look, but instead of the darker two, after I did Ritual and Sequent, I went in with Poet and Sequent on top of that, and then instead of Ritual and Matte, I did Poet and Matte to give it more of a pink look. I didn't want it to be like bright pink, so I still wanted like some of those browns in there. And then I used Double Tap palette from Pixie and just used these two colors in place of the Poet colors. Oh, you know what? I didn't do underneath my eyes. Okay, and then I took Poet underneath my lash line. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do to finish off the look is take Poet in Glitter. That was another one that I thought was a really close matchup to this one right in the center. So again, I just go in with my fingers. I might wet my finger down. Hold on, will this work? That worked, kind of. There we go. But no glitter primer today though. Look how pretty that is. I love this stuff. I really love this stuff. And I don't know if you noticed yesterday or today, I don't really put that much shadow where I put the glitter. Stuff that gets blended out kind of gets blended onto that area, but I don't like take shadow and pack it underneath. It's the glitter. I just want the glitter to shine. A little bit of that excess. I can feel a difference even on the Tati side when there's not glitter primer. It's not awful. Yesterday again was the first time I'd ever used glitter primer with this, so it's totally possible to wear it without it. Getting all the glitter, all the glitter's off the finger, and again going in with this shade right here, and I'm gonna wet the finger down again. That's a little bit more intense. Hey, not a bad match at all. Like, I'm not mad about it. I definitely have to go back in faster than I did last time, I'm pretty sure, because the glitter's just not sticking as well, but that was the case on both sides. I am using a normal primer, just FYI, I'm using just the same one as I did yesterday, the Wet n Wild one, but that's it, and I figure that most people use primers or concealers anyway. So this is the final look. I really love it, and I think it looks basically the same. I'm curious to see how things go with the no glitter primer. So I'm gonna go about my day, celebrate Thanksgiving, do a check-in halfway through to let you know if I'm covered in glitter, which again is not the worst thing that could happen with your makeup. Okay, so it's been about 10 hours since I've applied the makeup. I meant to do a check-in earlier, but I just got caught up in all the Thanksgiving stuff. So I would say that there's about the same amount of fallout on both sides. It's just I have to make sure I turn my head the right way to be able to catch like the glitter in the light, because like when I first looked at the mirror I was like, oh my goodness, there's no fallout on the Beauty Glaze side, and then I turned and I was like, oh, just kidding. So it mostly just is just right underneath on my cheekbones, which I mean that can kind of look like highlight, right? And it's on both sides. It hasn't gotten everywhere. Besides like the fallout on my cheeks, everything stayed in place really well. Everything's looking so good. It's been super comfortable. I haven't feel like glitter has gotten into my eye on either side, and I think everything looks really good. I told my mom again, I was like, I have one on one eye and one on the other, and she's like, I really can't tell a difference at all, but like I'll do one more check-in before I head to bed, which won't be for another like 5 hours, so we still have a minute. Okay, it's been about 14 hours, and it kind of just looks the same as it did last time I did a check-in, if we're gonna be 100% honest. I feel like right here, I must have like scratched right there or something really bad, because like that like faded in the corner, which is weird. That's never happened with the Tati palette with me before. It's been a really long day though. So overall, I think this is an awesome palette if you are looking for a dupe. I still would also recommend the Tati palette if you can afford it. Or if you want to see my first dupe video I did for the Tati palette, you can click right here. I love you guys so much, and don't ever forget that you are enough. Bye!